Okay, this is how to take a look at number 18 on homework 1.4. In other words, this is the sum of piecewise functions one. Um, you'll know this is the one I'm talking about because it's got f and g that are defined this way as piecewise functions, and you have to figure out how to add them together, which easy enough to do if you just have f and g defined as one single equation, but when it's piecewise, things get a little more complicated. So essentially what I need to figure out how to do is combine these conditions first, because you'll notice this function f switches at the value 4, right? Less than 4, I have this condition. Greater than 4, I have this other condition. Same thing with g, but this switches at 0 instead. So let's first work out the breakpoints, and then we're going to figure out which pieces we need to add together and which answer box to click. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this. This is going to be red. This is going to be orange. This is going to be green. And this is going to be blue. And this color coding should really extend to the equations over here. So I guess what I can do is highlight all of these and make sure that the equations are color coded correctly, because this is going to make it easier to understand where I'm pulling stuff from and what stuff needs to be added to which. Okay, so here we go. So next thing I'm going to do is get myself a number line and actually graph these inequalities. So it's going to look a little messy, but I promise that this is worth it. So I have two values. I have 0 and 4. So I'm going to go ahead and mark those first. So it doesn't really matter. I don't need any other numbers besides 0 and 4. So I'm just going to throw 0 and 4 on here. Now I'm going to go ahead and graph the conditions. So my conditions are less than 4 and greater than or equal to 4. So I'm going to get myself an arrow. Less than 4 is going to be 4 and then backwards. I'm also going to need an open circle. Let me go ahead and make this a little bit thicker, and this should be red. And I also need a little circle for the end of it. This should be empty. Actually, I also believe we use parentheses. So you know what? I'm going to delete this and use parentheses instead. So I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a red parentheses. Oh, that's a thick one. Maybe not that thick. Much better. Okay, so we'll use parentheses. Now my orange condition was greater than or equal to 4, so I'm going to go ahead and draw. I'm going to get myself another arrow. This was greater than or equal to 4, so this starts at 4, and it points to the right. My color should be orange, and I'm going to make this a little bit thicker as well. And once again, I need to cap it. This is going to have to be bracket over here. All right, just so I have enough space, I'm going to drag everything down a little bit. Now I'm going to do the other ones. Over here, now I have zeros, so I'm involving this guy over here. So I've got an arrow. I think I have, which one's greater than 0 again? So green guy is less than or equal to 0. So I'm going to do 0. Less than 0 is to the left. This ought to be green, and it's going to be a little bit thicker as well. This has a bracket attached to it, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my bracket as well. Darker green, maybe. Boop. Okay, and my blue guy, that's from 0 onwards. So this way, like that. Let's make him blue, make it a bit thicker. Whoops. Now I need a parentheses. Okay, so this color code basically tells me which functions need to be combined together based on what's overlapping what. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself a highlighter to help understand this. So it looks like from negative infinity, and I'm also going to draw that. So this would be from negative infinity. And then over here to the right would be positive infinity. Well, all right, well, we can't. I'm not a perfect human being. That could be better. Okay. So from negative infinity all the way up to 0, it looks like I need to combine my red and my green. So these guys should be combined together, the red and the green. Okay, and now it looks like from 0 to 4, I'm going to need to combine my blue and my red. So that would be in here. And it looks like from 4 to infinity, I need to combine together blue and orange. So let's see, we'll do a gray highlight here. So this basically tells me, and I should fill this in, but this basically tells me what I need to combine. So for right now, I'm going to label this. So this part in here, this is supposed to be green plus red in here. In the middle, it's supposed to be blue plus red. And over here, it's supposed to be blue plus orange. So this is what I need. It looks like I'm going to have to pick the option that has 3 intervals. And I'll get those intervals by combining together these pieces appropriately. Okay, so I'm going to enter this down and grab over that picture that I made on PowerPoint. So this is what I want. So first off, let's figure out green. Why am I writing in white? Let's change my text color to that. I'm still writing white. Fun. All right, so green plus red. That's going to be this guy plus this guy. All right, next up, it is blue plus red. I already have red here, so I'm just going to copy paste the blue part like that. And next up, I have blue plus orange. So now I'm going to copy paste this orange part over here and replace the red. So these are going to be the 3 functions that I need. But now I didn't simplify them, so my next step is going to be to take this batch and simplify everything. So there's no need for me to have these parentheses here. I can just get rid of them and combine my like terms. And also, I'm going to get rid of the color coding so I can combine like terms easier. This right here, let's find a different color, one that I haven't used yet. Let's use pink. Why not? I'm a fan of pink. So combine this with this. And then 4 and 2 combine. So I'm also going to get, so I'm going to get negative x or negative 1x plus 6. For the next guy over here, once again, don't need the parentheses. Going to combine my like terms. So let's use purple. So I have 3x plus x. So this is going to end up being 4x and then minus 3 from the numbers portion. All right, and then the last part, again, I don't need the parentheses. I see 2x plus x, and I'll just go back to pink. Why not? And that's going to be x squared. Doesn't have any like terms, so it comes along for the ride, plus 3x. And then minus 7 doesn't have any like terms, so that also comes along for the ride. So these are my 3 functions that I'm going to need. Okay, and I can go back later and do the color coding for that if I wanted to. So now all I have to do is put this in using the intervals where they belong. So this is going to end up being, actually better yet, I'm going to copy paste this. And I'm just going to add another argument underneath each of these. And I'm going to add another argument here as well, and just fix my color coding here. So this color, these can all be black, and I'll have to change these in just a second. So we'll figure out where these go in just a moment. But for right now, these are placeholders. So let me change them out. Okay, so starting from left to right, over here, this is my top function. And I use this function right here. I'm going to highlight it. I use this function whenever I'm from negative infinity all the way up to and including 0. So I'm going to say if x is less than or equal to 0, I need to use this guy. Next up is blue plus red, and I use that from 0 to 4. So this is my next guy. He goes over here, and I'll highlight him. We'll use a light blue highlight. I use this from 0 to 4. Note that this has a parentheses and this has a parentheses, so it's going to be single with no line underneath it. So I'm going to have 0 less than x less than 4 with no line underneath. All right, and last up, I'm going to use blue plus orange, which is going to be this guy. Might as well give it a highlight. I use the gray from before. And now this is what I use whenever x is bigger than 4, and including 4 because of the bracket. All right, and no, I'm not going to be able to enter that. I was hoping I'd be able to space them out so they're equal. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, much nicer. So this would be how I combine together the two piecewise functions.